D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So, last night's episode of Game of Thrones, the Battle of Winterfell, it was pretty good. I mean, personally, it's the best episode of the season so far, but, I mean, like, that was hard. The last two episodes sucked balls. I didn't get to comment on the last one. I had some family obligations, and I don't like to post if it's past 24 hours. But I just have to say that that last episode was totally nards. I mean, it was so stupid. But this episode was pretty good, mostly because it was just action, and we haven't gotten that for this season yet. First off, I want to say that in this episode, I mean, directing-wise and cinematography-wise was crap, because it was so freaking dark at some times. Like, I could not say, I had to squint my eyes and get real close to the screen to figure out what was going on. I don't know if you guys had that problem, but I think that Game of Thrones lately, the past couple seasons, have had that problem a lot, where it's just too dark. I don't know why these directors and cinematographers want to make things, like, naturally dark. Like, they'll put lights and stuff. They film at night. I don't understand why you don't film during the day and make it darker, but not dark enough to where we can't see it. I just don't get it. But, okay, so moving on to the episode. Now, I just want to say, when the battle started, and the Melisandre lady, she lit the horse rider, the Dothraki swords on fire. I thought that was pretty cool, and I was really excited for them to fight. But they went in, and I felt bad for them, because they ran in to the fight without knowing what they were going into, and they were defeated really quickly. I mean, defense is usually easier than offense, but I just felt bad for them because they literally just, like, ran into, like, into darkness, and then they got their asses kicked. Which goes back to, I don't think Jon Snow is a good tactician when it comes to these. I mean, if you look at the Battle of the Bastards, like, he was all like, we're gonna do this, and then he did the opposite of that, and he let them do that to them. So for this one, I just felt like they didn't have the dragons in the air to help out the Dothraki. Like, I don't understand what they were expecting to happen. Like, the Dothraki go in there and just pummel them. No, they got pummeled, like, hardcore. So, I just don't think Jon Snow is a good tactician. If you're watching the zombies, they moved like a wave. They were just coming in like a wave, which I liked that a lot. I liked that how it was very World War Z-like. Even climbing up that wall, they just climbed on top of each other and then went over the wall. I liked that portion of the program. And like I said, it was very much like World War Z in that sense. Even like the wave that they came through when they were attacking the Unsullied, it reminded me of a scene from that Train to Busan, if you ever watch it, and from World War Z. So, I want to talk about, well, first off, let's talk about, like, some Theon. I'm just going to talk about random stuff all through and get to some of the good stuff. But something negative, Theon, towards the end, he died, but I didn't like how Bran was like, you're a good man. Theon is not a good man. A lifetime of one good deed, or a couple good deeds, does not account for a lifetime of bad deeds. I mean, just the fact that he killed 2 young boys, burnt their bodies, and, you know, played them off as the Starks, that right there, just because you save your sister and help save Bran, that doesn't excuse you from your past deeds or make you a good person. He's a shit person, and I don't feel bad for him. I was not sad when Theon died, and in fact, I'm good. I'm glad he died. So, the MVP of the night was definitely Arya, and I want to get into her at that last scene with her in a little bit. But when she was fighting with that weapon that Gendry had made her, totally awesome. It made me actually like Arya even more, because I kind of like Arya, but this episode definitely made me like her more. I don't know where she gets these great ninja / fighting skills, because she was in the House of Black and White for like a week, and then all of a sudden she's like a master assassin and everything. I don't get that whole situation, but I can excuse it just because I don't have time to sit here and deal with all that nonsense anymore, because we only have 3 episodes left, which they need to kick it into high gear, because this was barely kicking it into high gear. But like I said, she was awesome with that weapon, and like I said, we'll talk about the Night King thing in just a second. So my biggest problem with this episode is that no A-list characters died. None. No A-list characters. And I know you're going to be all like, what about Jorah? Jorah's not an A-list character. I'm sorry, he's not. And Theon. Theon's not, they haven't been A-list since maybe season 1. And even then, if they were on the A-list, they were barely on the A-list. I mean, come on. But even then, I don't think they were. They were on B-list at best. But none of them died. I mean, even Samwell survived. I mean, Samwell Tarly was a total pussy. I mean, he's sitting there crying, and no zombies killed him? What is going on here? I mean, everybody talks about fan service and everything. Are people really rooting for Samwell Tarly of all people? Like, come on. Like, ridiculous. I know I'm being negative right now. I did like the episode, so calm down. So, no dragons died except for the one that was already dead, but which I liked. I thought maybe that Jon Snow's dragon may have died, but it didn't. So I'm happy about that. I'm glad Daenerys still has her 2 dragons to fight this end battle, this great war that's coming. So that's really good. I want to talk about now. I just want to talk about the crypts. And Sansa and Tyrion are real pussies. Like, let me just tell you. Those 2 assholes. Sansa had a knife and she wasn't trying to protect anybody. I mean, like, they basically were just tucking and rolling. And so stupid. I don't like Sansa anyways. I liked Tyrion a lot more earlier in this show, but he's lessened for me, but I still like him. Sansa I've never liked. She's useless, and this just proves even more how useless she is. I thought last episode they did a good job with her. They built her up as this great leader, and then they finally rushed it and made her look like a competent leader, and then this episode just dropped her right back down for me because she's an asshole. Tyrion's an asshole too. I mean, who doesn't bring weapons in there because what if that door didn't hold? You've got to protect yourself. And it's just bad planning on their part, and Tyrion's supposed to be so smart and everything. And then, like I said before, all these A-list characters didn't die. Even all of them, they're surrounded by zombies, like literally surrounded by zombies. 1 against like 10,000, and none of the A-list characters died at that end, like towards that end. I mean, you've got Brienne, she's all cutting away. She should have died right away when all the zombies jumped on her. That would have been good, and everything. But no, none of them died, and that's just completely ridiculous. Now, I want to talk about Arya again real quick before I end this. I really liked the library scene when she was kind of tucking and rolling underneath the tables and through the bookshelves. I liked it in the sense that she had been injured, so it kind of rattled her for a second, and she wasn't too sure of her abilities. But I didn't like it in the sense that it kind of wasted time. Like, it was cool, but it wasted a lot of time. And I'm like, can't you get to the meat of this? The Arya, pussying out in a library is not the meat of this episode, so we need to just truck it along. But it was fine. I liked it still. And then when she jumped in to kill the Night King, I really liked that a lot. If you watch my last episode, the first episode that I had, I totally called that and everything. This makes me think that she's going to kill the Night King. So I did say that she would. I did think that she would kill the Night King herself because she asked for that weapon. I thought she'd do it with the weapon that she asked for from Gendry, but she did it with that knife, and because she mentioned the knife in the first episode, and I'm all like, okay, so she's gonna kill him. And then, before I conclude, I just want to say, Cersei is finally getting the respect that she deserves as the bad guy, the main bad guy of this series. I love Cersei. I hope she wins. I hope she beats their asses and is the ruler of the Seven Kingdoms. I love her. I think she's great, and you may disagree with me, but you're not very bright. So, in conclusion, this was a pretty good episode. It wasn't the best episode of the series, but it was a pretty good episode. And I was kind of annoyed that no A-list character died, but it's not enough to where I still don't really care for the show, but whatever. And for only having 3 more episodes left of the show, it really has a lot of improvement to do. Like, it has a lot to improve on, in my opinion. And so if you still like this show after this episode, and from this point, you're just a dum-dum. So you need to, step up your game in the smarts department, because the show still isn't that great. Okay, so tell me, what did you guys think of this episode? Did the fact that no A-listers died bother you? What was your favorite part? I really love those dragons fighting. It was so great. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. That would be greatly appreciated. Leave those comments in the section down below, and I will check you guys next Monday when I review the 4th episode. All right, bye.